He was on the void, and that God was in the.
This is very important. Still on season 1, episode 2. Now, one of Clark Kent's sons is on the football team, right? He want to get out there on that field. He want to be a quarterback. And dig the lick, because what you're going to catch is reference to how people in the entertainment as well as movies and so forth, etc., is aware of who this Christ is. Remember I told you on the number 23 and how the 23 follow me everywhere. They did a movie out about 23. Every street that I was on before I tapped into this energy, into who I am, it's been 23. Now watch what he say to give away. Now let's turn this down so you kind of read what's being said. Let's go. So he say, it doesn't, I think I can show you what I can do. That's what he say. He finna blow the whistle, tell the other cat to come off the field, right? Ryan hydrate. All right, Kent. Look what he telling. He say, twin right, flex, 23 savior. That's the code that he told him to get on this field. Now we dealing with the number 3 again. Twin right, flex, 23 savior. Now he already getting out there on the field. He flexing on the field to identify that they let it also be known, coded, about this 23 and how this 23 is a savior. Now look what hit him. What hit him was 3. 1 and 2 already represent 3. You see? This 1, 2, 3, which is 1 being Amen within itself, the hidden one, connected 2 and 3, which is the 23 within itself. 1, 2, 3. I want to point out this is important, because what you're going to code C is 333. Let's go. I'm going to point it out for you. That's what's caught to my attention. Let's go. Alright, now he represents 1. Look, first of all, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 3 hit him, right? Watch what happened. And there go the other 3. 333. Hollywood, no. Twin right, flex 23 savior, and then they cap it off with 333 to identify with who is identified, in which they know who this savior is. And savior just means you get seen again. Now they don't talk about the ages in here. They ain't say nothing when he was 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. But 14 is key. We talking about Jordan again. They said he's 14. He was lashing out because he's showing his powers on the football field. Gotta watch the new Superman that's on Max to catch these signs and these symbols. 14 has also been coded all through the Matrix. 14 points on the Bethlehem star to identify to who Christ is. So all these signs is coded. You just gotta catch the codes and the signs. You see, batteries not included is dealing with this restaurant. The name of this restaurant is called Riley's. It's code for Ashley's. Yeah, it's code for Ashley because we talk about a restaurant that people in the higher ups, these bankers, these big wigs, been trying to neutralize, to set fire, to get out the way because they want to build something else there. This part is important. This is going to show him putting a square cube in the floor. Yeah. If you know regarding this cube in this square. I told you its importance and it's coded. Well, I'm telling you now, this is its importance because this cube represents, if you know, regarding the black cube, There was a video that says, on one asked how did these beings is able to move dimension to dimension, and they said it's like a Rubik's Cube. You make it, and the universe opens up and transforms into a cube, and they can get to anywhere, at any place, at any time. There you go. And Carlos go to his door. Carlos trying to get them all out because he paid by them big wigs to try to move people up out the apartment. If you ain't seen Battery, you got a clue, you better go check it out. And they show this scene, and it's showing this hexagon right there, that's right in front of you, and the symbolism right above it. These codes and these colors identify. You see them screws sticking up. It has its meaning as you watch the movie. See, screw here to identify, like it to the phallus, right in the middle. Screw here, look, screw here with the hexagon in the middle. Connected to it is the bed, connected to all this. You see, and remember like E.T. falling home with the telephone there in black and white. You see Harry, Carlos that came in, Harry hiding. But you see, they consider Harry to be slow, but Harry the sharpest, smartest motherfucker around. You see, they consider him to have a disability, a mental, thinking that he's mentally slow. Remember, I was telling you about the LD thing, learning disability, and it's showing the back to identify the colors black and silver. You're already aware, you've been enlightened to this. And you understand that Harry, you know, he's an ex-boxer, he's a fighter, he's a soldier. Well, he used to be, as far as someone who's been in the ring fighting. This is why he got all those fighting statues and stuff like that behind him. Awards for being a fighter. See? I mean, as far as those boxing belts behind Carlos' head. That is right. Carlos came in with his thugs. They trying to put pressure on him to get on out. You see, the same pressure was trying to be placed on our restaurant. Now, what you didn't hear about the day before the restaurant caught on, well, I ain't gonna say the day before, but three things happened, three events happened. There was a car that had smashed into our restaurant.
After he passed, it was passed down to my father.
This Ashley's Q near 2nd and National is the family's second restaurant. Their other one here at 15th and Center caught fire back in November.
I'm very, very overwhelmed. Like I said, we've had a tragedy less than 6 months ago in regards to a fire and a car actually hitting the restaurant on 15th and Center.
After that happened, then the fire came. All this happened at 15th and Center. Then the third incident was the fire happened at the Q. Now, mind you, this movie came out, I want to say it was in 1987 sometime. February. I had the dates on here for you. This was exactly 30 years ago and 3 days. 30 years, 3 days is the math when Ashley's Q caught on fire to when this movie came out. Hey, here's the giveaway. You heard my niece when she says, this is my dad's father restaurant. They call him
By my dad's father, I call him Pops. Hey.
Pops. Carlos come in and he's saying, you too, Pops. It's code talk regarding my father's restaurant. You see, the address for this restaurant is 815. Our restaurant is 1501. You see, but the code is connected because the two circles represent an O in itself. So in essence, you have 1, 5, and O, but you have 1, 5, and 2 O's. But this is code for 15th because it's on 15th and Center. See? You see the O's. So if you bring down one of the O's, you're going to have right there, it's going to be 15150. The address is 1501. But his code has already told you about that 8 and what the 8 represents, and the 8 connects and follow because it represents the infinity sign. This part is important because you're not going to hear batteries included out of nobody's mouth but out of his mouth. You see? And you're going to catch this here because the TV is going to make a statement that's going to say batteries not included, which to identify with the representation of this man, identify with a battery that do not need to be included, but rather it's a energy. Listen to what's said. What did he say? Wine stores everywhere, batteries not included. Now remember that not on his head identify with his third eye. It's strange that I caught this, that his eyes is possessed. Oh wow. Okay. And then it happens again, and I just took a second off of it. And his eye done shapeshift again. Man, y'all ain't really paying attention. Yeah, cold talk. That power, this energy, I guess it'll have you transfixed like that. On that note, I could say I ain't never had a situation like, one of my ex-wives, every time I would enter to her eyes would always go in the back of her head, and her eyes be always white. Both of them be white. I used to tell her about it. She'd be laughing like she don't believe it. Now look at the codes, man. I can't make this up. Because you see the sign up top. The sign up top say Salem, and it's talking about smoking. But ironically, in the movie, it's going to show this restaurant, catching on fire. So, this movie 30 years back was coded to identify with something that would happen in the future. You see? Something on duty, a call. This is a message, a call about what was to happen. Listen what she say. Look, she telling him, won't you go back to your father? Because he used to be a car salesman. Listen, I didn't put this here. Can't tell me this ain't futuristic. Because I managed our dealership. And this is what we sold. She said so. Cars, RVs, and you see, it's all here. No mind, I got to go back. Now she gonna say, I had to tell my friends that it's cool to be living with an artist. Remember, that same thing was said. Where Atticus is considered to be an artist. Now it's cold talk to him as an artist and as also a dealer. See the connection of all these people that's in this movie. Hold up. Listen. Listen. Look, think that I was telling my friend it's cool living with an artist. You know my favorite word. I can't make this up. Keep the codes in this movie. They show 3 dark windows up top, 3 up top, 3 in the middle, 3 down below, all dark, 3, 3, 3. The code is sealed to identify Well, who this is. See, you talking about time traveling technology. You talking about dealing with beings way advanced to place these messages and place this inside me to be able to decode what was really futuristic. Look, now it's still saying, let me take it off caption so that you can see. Take it off caption. Look, you see the 3 up top, 2 lights. We don't count them, only the dark ones. 3, and then 3, because the other bottom 2 on the right is lit up, illuminated. This is important. Now this is the symbol that's being shown. Look, you see the address 518, right? This symbol is the symbol for phi. PHI is Greek. That symbol identifies Queen right flex 23 savior. That's the code that he told him. Racial. Okay? And not only that, in mathematics, phi is used to represent various concepts, most notable the golden ratio. 1.618. You see? Phi is also used in physics to represent magnetic flux. Yo, I can't make this up. Remember I told you that 8 that's next to that 1 and that 5 to identify with the restaurant? It states that the divine cosmos art of this connection of phi spirals used to infinity, beyond and within. That's what that 8 is. Infinity, beyond, and what else? And within. It also states the golden section or pi found throughout nature also applies to understanding the what? The relationship of God to creation. All this is coded to identify with this connection that the gods is having with us here on this planet. We just have to pay attention to the signs. I'm no better than you. I'm just an example of what the gods want you to know, the abilities and purpose that you also have on this universe. Just tap in. Hey, listen, this is important because I was showing you this building, but what we hear in the background, you hear Harry tapping these square cubes. The reason why, now it's making sense, the reason why they're showing the 333 is to identify the Harry. Remember I was telling you that my father's Harry, and I meant I ain't Harry no more. I don't keep that, I removed that, but also represents 2. Why is 25 in the alphabet? 2 plus 5 is 7. Being the E in Harry to identify with being hair, heir, heir to the throne. But notice what they're going to show him tapping. He's building. He's putting this together. Like it to that cornerstone, remember? But not necessarily cornerstone, but laying foundation. Listen. They go to symbol, and then after this shows who? It shows Harry. This part is very important. Now, y'all go to YouTube and purchase to watch, batteries not included, and see with your own eyes and tell me what you catch and see. This is important because he's gonna he's gonna tap in, he's gonna ask the gods to help him. He's gonna say, I need help. And a message is gonna be given on that traveling brochure or whatnot. You're gonna see when it hold up, when he says he need help, it's gonna show a pyramid on there. Okay, this is important. Look. Hold up. Did you catch it? When it holds up, this is intentionally angled for a reason. It's going to show this pyramid, right? Then over the pyramid is his head, and then the eye that's in green right there. Yeah. And see, every person in here identify with a character, identify with the person who's intended. See, held that up for a reason. Listen. And look what happens. The watchers are watching. They're paying attention. They're always around us. They're always around you. But this part is very important because it's going to show you in plain sight, clear to the eyes to see what's happening. Look. Why is it showing these beings watching someone in the bed? It's cold talk, it's double talking. You're gonna notice that when he says this older man, which is Pops, he's the one that owned the restaurant. Remember, you go back when he held the brochure up and it showed the pyramid, it showed the green eye over the head, it showed a silver and black toaster next to the eye to identify with who they're referring to. You see, the masculine and the feminine energy line are connected together. You see, the green and the red next to each other, which identify with something coded in the mysteries. And guess what they're going to do? Look. Out of all the places they could have came to in the building, look, what is it showing? It goes right in the bed to illuminate what's actually behind her, but it's to identify what's actually transpiring, what's happening. It's dealing with the connection of the male and the masculine and the feminine. Procreation. A higher form of sex magic and a higher form of energy. There's a reason why you see these beings in the bed. You see? It's cold talk. This is what it's pertaining to. You gotta open your eyes to see. Now, mind you, this is the male spaceship. You know, it has the head of the pyramid triangle, the same thing that showed when Pops held it up. Cold talking. You see? There it go. They telling you. It's bringing her to him, but it identify with them. The connection of the two. Now you see the masculine spaceship is going to enter to the kitchen, and it's to identify with who their intended person is. And you're going to notice, watch where the spaceship go. Watch where you go. This is important. Look, where is it going? It sees the energy. Look, connected to who? Listen. I told you, explained to you what the silver and black mean. Those in the mystery, those who know, know and to identify that that cord represents the phallus. The one and the two represent the masculine and the feminine. This whole connection is dealing with a connection with extraterrestrial beings, connecting and procreating with one of high energy. Look, they emphasize it on this for a reason. It's what he do.
Your minute. I do not want. I have sent directions to my living space. Oh. I have sent directions to my living space. You sent directions to everyone?
Look, he go to this green window, stick his head out. It's like, yeah, we got the message, and they gonna do some Morse code. They ain't gotta talk, just communicate telepathically. And she's gonna bring down another spaceship, another spacecraft, and say, yeah, you remember like the movie the purple alien who sent the message out to all the galactic forces, well, all the beings to come to his party.
Send directions to my living space.
Having ability that Harry appeared to have a disability in his mental faculty, the way he move and how he think, but understand that comes from him fighting in the ring. We understand that. You see, if you notice on Harry's door in Batteries Not Included, it says superintendent, to show you just how sharp he is, that whoever owns the building made him superintendent. The connection to Boov in this movie identified to purple being regal royalty, and purple identified with black. You so black that you blue, but also purple. O from DreamWorks Home is mentally disabled. I'm surprised that I haven't seen anyone talking about this yet, because it was literally the first thing that popped into my head when this person saw the movie Home on Friday. He says he firmly believes that the alien is either mentally disabled, right? And let's go all the way down where it say, or meant as a metaphor for a disabled person, as if to say as a learning disability. To show you connection that when you see the extraterrestrial spaceship out the window, is to identify with the same similarity and connection to Boov sending the invitation out to different galaxies. It's talking about how one having the telepathic abilities to send communication to beings from different galaxies by this energy. Sent the message out, and this was 30 years ago. This is a derivative of what actually took place in Batteries Not Included. You see, but O is the silver and black toaster. You know, you get it? Toaster is that was the energy. Once it goes down, it heats up. It's dealing with energy. Listen, turn it down. So what is it doing? Other forces now. This represents the feminine. This is the woman, which pretty much identifies with, because he already scanned the female and the male. This is to say a connection. The portal was open, the door is open to connect.
Send directions to my living space.
And be intimate. Look, she flying through the house. Her energy is low. She fly. They intentionally show her flying past him, but dip it low by him right there, right? And then what happens? Look where they go to. Look. Why this silver and black toaster? Because it's cold. She opened up her vortex, and then representing of the phallus entering in. You see, Mama, I told you how my energy be when one is connected. Understand that Abra name is the first 4 letters in abracadabra. Watch what she say to show you just how powerful tapped in that is, and her powers tapped in at 13.
I can do that.
That's nice, sweetie.
Abracadabra.
Abra's powers is just so strong from Sleep Doctor that notice it happens when she turned 13. It goes to show you the power of 13. But her powers is so strong that this witch flew astral projected to use the witch powers to try to intercept into Abra stone. Look at that word stone again. Remember I told you flower stone represents her being Abra stone because they have Ra in it. And stone connects to the cornerstone to identify with this chosen one, to identify with the powers and abilities that one have. Now it's all coded in this movie. And watch. Astral projected after symbol all the way back to the
You've noticed that little girl.
We have to have her go.
What happens? It's a high voltage, it's a high energy. That's this type of connection. You see, and look, it's telling you. It's code talking. That's a marriage gown or a gown. I identify it being a marriage gown because it just could be, it could be lingerie. He wearing it because it's connecting to her, because she can't wear it, but this it says that it's dealing with a sexual act. It's the reason why the spacecraft is flying over her body, because it's a connection to the two really being intimate. You see? Man, listen, if you ain't seen Battery Not a Clue, you better go see it. Look. And then you'll notice, look what happens. They could have showed this female spaceship, star being. They could have showed it just halfway with the being next to the flower pot and the white popping always shown next to these colors here. And what's happening? Look how certain forces can feed off your energy and drain your energy. Look what happens. Look, they get geeked off that energy. Yeah. And look what happens. It's showing you that the roles are reversed. He is really she. You see? Coming in on a gown. Soon she's gonna be like, in a roundabout way, you don't get your ass up out of there. Check it out. Oh, they in there playing. Originally, the triangle pyramid, he had it shooting upwards. But being that they came down, the triangle pyramid is now downward. To identify they're here. He got diamonds on his shirt, black vest, gray pants. And there's also a triangle pyramid like over his head. Yeah, they did a lot of code talking back in the 80s, in the 80 movies, man. Got a lot of juice. I might add, look at them horses there. 2 horses, identify with Heru, Osar, and Horus. You gotta go watch Battery Not Included. There go this toaster again. This is representing of likened to the sun, because when you mash down on it, it heats up like a energy source. So what's going to happen is to show you the importance of these beings connecting and showing their importance to draw this closer to them. Look. They take it up the stairs. Yeah, it's going up the stairs. It's like, yeah, we need this. And see, the reason why they doing this is to show you the connection, because look, people she's holding. She's coming up them stairs like a witch, holding her broom, because it's dealing with that broom identified to the phallus. Stop here. The broom identified to, as I explained to you about the witch riding the broom. She could have came up them stairs without the broom. She could have left the broom, but look what the codes is being shown. You see the symbol next to the shack. The symbol representing of the vagina, the merging of 1 and 2 and 3 come together to create life. The 3 is over that symbol representing of the fallopian tube, the uterus, the vagina. I didn't put these signs here. I've just been a little bit gifted to be able to interpret these signs. And then watch what happens. Look. She's walking. She's holding that phallus. The light of Lucifer. She don't need no light in a night like that, but it's showing you what's happening in this hidden shaft. Something magical is happening. Right, this part is important. You'll notice she's going to be holding this broomstick to identify with the phallus. I already explained that to you. When she opens the door, she's going to see the cord, which to identify red like that phallus that she holding. The cord is going to be all of a sudden it's red. And who's on top of the toaster? It's the female extraterrestrial spacecraft on this one, to identify that their connection. Let's go. Look. Let's bring the volume down. You see? She's still holding the phallus, setting light on the situation, what's actually happening. Look. Look. She's pulling on that cord. Look. That the cord is red. Just like that phallus she holding on. Look. The cord is red like the phallus she's holding. But we know that in the kitchen, it was black, but was going up the stairs. Now all of a sudden it's red because it's double talking. You see the connection to my connection with beings from different planets and their connection to me. And that which we created. Now we do represent a new world order. Look. Look. There she go. I told you. And look. When she raised off that like it to the 2 being 1. When she raised off of it, she got a smile on her face. You see it, look at the smile. They did that for a reason. And then she's looking at this older woman in red with the red broom. She's looking to her like, yep, what you see is what's happening. And then
Stay tuned for part 2.
Granddaddy
breaking down. Batteries not included.